group. Usually may motorized bangka yan o siguro a motorized houseboat, and we'll pull the sailboats together. Yan. So they will form a kauman together. Okay, then the kampungan is the barangay. Several of these has formed this many houses here in Sitangay. See, Sitangay is just this small island, but look at this, they're all in the water. This is a settlement on the water. Look at that. This is Sitangay. Ito yung 1 square kilometer of piece of land, and this is the houses in that place, no? Ito kanale. Parang ang suspecha ko, pinalalim nila ito so that this is the main thoroughfare, so that boats can come in, no? Hindi naman malaki, no? A compete cannot come in here, no? Lepa lang, lepa, bongos, less than 5 tons, less than 5 tons. Yan, makakapasok dito. And then they are linked with the catwalks, no? Catwalks link there. See? Yan. O gets nyo? When you write something, then you already describe. Siguro, skill din yung description, di ba? Skill din. And that description can be, your description can be checked when you go to the field. No? You go and talk to people. Yun ang mahalaga doon. No? Of course, if you have a drone, it would be helpful. Maybe the university can buy it for research purposes. It is not that expensive anymore. It's a good tool. It can help. Yeah. RV?
Well, I think talaga yung visualize natin itsura ng community. Kaya parang dalawa yung nakikita ko dito, no? Pwede nating gawing jump off point si Tangkay, parang yun yung ating orientation manggagaling. And then, pwede nating i-open through sa bangka itong house on stilts. And so, minsan yung ating departure when it's also a kind of parang ourselves kung gusto nating i-describe ng isang British community. So pwedeng dito rin tayo galing sa mga house on stilts papunta sa Tangkay. So magkakaroon ng description in the process. And when you do field as researcher, minsan maganda din how do they get themselves sa kanilang kasi meron na silang knowledge, paano din nila dinanavigate ang lugar. And so, pwedeng sila yung guide mo when you do either a transit walk, saan kailangan mong i-visually present, graphically present the village community for studying. Yun lang po, Ma'am Chip.
Okay.
May question na po.
Yeah.
Curious lang, ma'am, are they registered voters or registered in PSA pagdating sa birth certificate or what, yung ganitong klaseng community?
Basahin mo yung aking sinulat about them. Anyway, they are registered voters.
Kasi tinitingnan ko kung paano punta yung mga politiko sa ganyang lugar.
Ay, hindi naman yun mahirap Yung politiko yun, local din
Hindi pagdating sa national, parang ang saya kasi, di ba? Ito yung daan, yung...
hindi sila nakakaabot dyan? Yung national?
Opo.
May senador nang dumating dyan.
Okay. Sige po.
Diyan yata naglalanding yung mga Abu Sayyaf. Maraming kamag-anak yung mga Abu Sayyaf dyan. Totoo when I was there in the 90s. 90s nga ba yun? Yeah, in the 90s, sasabihin sa akin, oh, wag kayo masyadong lumabas sa tubig. Kasi lumilibot kami, nakasakay kami sa bangka. Huwag kayo masyadong magpakalayo. Pero sinabi na nila na yung mga aming host, sinabi na nila na nandun kami. Kasi kamag-anak din nila yun eh. Alam naman nila kung sino eh. Siyempre, hindi sila nagsasalita.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, let's see. Now, this is that one. Oh. This is a drawing by my good friend, Monden, who did a beautiful documentary on Samadilapot. And he lived there. He's Japanese. You know? He lived there and did this. I doubt if he had a drone, because this was done in the 80s, early 80s. But there is a tall building somewhere here. Munisipyo yata yun eh. Malapit sa Vice Mayor's house. Mga 3 or 4 stories. So, pwede ka magkaroon ng bird's eye view nito eh. Tapos you can just check it down pag nag-ano ka na. So, remember that household survey? Then probably you can just pinpoint this, no? To begin with. If you already, syempre hindi mo naman i-household survey itong lahat. Baka ito lang. Kumuha ka lang ganito. Usually, isa ka lang eh. No? Isa ka lang o dalawa lang kayo. At saka, it's too expensive to be staying long because you have jobs. You have teaching jobs. So, there's not much time. So, siguro may assistant ka, dalawa kayo. Ganyan. Okay. This is that drawing, no? Now, let's see the details. Ito yung drawing. Ito rin yun. No? Ito yung isla, di ba? Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo. This is like the Kauman. The Kauman of Yusuf. Ang nag-drawing nito, yung anak nitong head, nitong clan na ito. It's not a clan. It's a household group, no? Here. Yan. These are These are catwalks. Yan. Pwede kang mahulog. Tubig lang naman eh. Yan. Diyan. Tubig, malinis at madumi pareho. Yan dito. And you notice that may mga barangay na sila, di ba? Barangay Imam sa PE, Barangay Datu Puti, Barangay Alari. Yung origin ng mga barangays na yan ay nagsimula sa mga ganitong groups. May mga grouping na ganyan. Ayan, ito isang clan yan. Isang kauman yan. Ito isang kauman. Pero ito mga ito din magkakamag-anak. Magkakamag-anak din yan. Yan. I'll tell you the social relations that happens. No? You see, I'm not saying that this is a homogeneous sama Bajau o sama Dilaut, pero marami ditong traders na tausug. Yun, they usually don't like the tausug because the tausugs are the merchants. And of course, the tausugs are the sultanate. Remember? The sultanate. The tausugs are the sultanate. And they have money, power. So they are into trade with Sitangkai and North Borneo, no? North Borneo. Yan, ito yon. So let's see more, huh? Okay, now. Can we ask Can we ask RV?
I'd like to read this, no? Remember, ang topic natin is how a village community is formed. So, from houseboat, kauman, to a kauman or kauman means a group of people, clan. So that's Arabic. Same in Sama, the word kauman means an enclave or settlement for a clan that is cognatically related. If Kaum means a group of people in Arabic, Kauman, Sinama has been transformed to mean a group of settled place. Then how is the Kauman formed? The Bajau language of Sinama formed for a nuclear family magdanak. These magdanakan periodically come together on one place called kauman. Perhaps what is meant here is a moorage group. A moorage place is termed alabo. In a dakampungan, da, kampong, an, bajaws of related families, dalala, who trace their ancestry from a ancestor, dapu, and often cluster together to form a sort of village. The term dakampungan in the languages of Tausug, the Jaws of the Sulu and Tawi-Tawi archipelagos, essentially refers to all persons with whom an individual acknowledges a cognatic relationship. Whether the precise nature of this relationship can be traced.
Or that, no? Minsan meron kang kamag-anak, sinabi mo, how are you related? Hindi, basta magkamag-anak kami. That is a cognatically linked to each other. You know? Hindi na lang matrace, pero magkamag-anak. So, it's very interesting that the term kauman, a loan word from Arabic, a loan word from Arabic is used. Why did they use the term, no? Well, you know, in the 13th century, Islam came in the southern Philippines, and even before Islam, we were remember Maria was saying Manila was the trade center. There were many people, all kinds of people. Remember that Jose Velarde's 1734 map, where there are many peoples on that is around the map of the Philippines. You know, Southern Philippines was a thriving community. It was a cosmopolitan place, from the Middle East to Southern Asia to China, and even Europeans came to trade. So it is not uncommon to be loaning words with each other. So this kauman is Arabic, and interestingly, they use, no? So kau plus the affix, place of the clan, no? Kauman. Magdanakan, mag plus anakan, magkamag-anakan. See? Itong mga groups na ito of households na magkakamag-anak, they periodically moor in a kauman. Yan. So, nakita niyo this one, this is a kauman, that's another kauman. So, even in the formation of the settlement, you will notice something, bakit ito magkakatabi? Ba't sila dito nagtayo, dito sa kabila? Ganon. Meron kasing istorya, no? And that story is part of your ethnography. Now, another word, dapu-un-an. Dapu plus pun-an, meaning ancestor. Pu-un. Very interesting, di ba? The ancestor, the puun, the ancestor. Then you have da plus kampung and another an, all ito na yun. So you have the puunan and the kampungan, all persons with whom an individual acknowledges a cognatic relationship. So itong dami na to, ay basta mga kamag-anak ko yan eh, hindi ko na lang alam kung bakit. Minsan kasi, when you try to trace, hindi na alam. Patay na kasi yung mga nakakaalam. Pero sabi ng lolo ko, magkamag-anak daw kami. And they never forget that relationship because there's always an exchange, you know? And that is a village community. You see? You can see that link, that kin link, the social link that binds them together, no? Hindi mo yun maaalis. And you always return to that place. Kahit na kung saan ka naglilibot, no? Kasi parang parang slash and burn, di ba? Slash and burn, ibig sabihin ito nagkakaingin. Sa isang panahon, dito ka sa northern part ng lugar mo. In another time, you go to the central part, and another time, you go to the northern part. Why do you do that? Because you want the soil to regenerate. You do not abuse the soil. The same way with fishing, because the Sama de Laut are essentially fishers, no, fishers and farmers of seaweeds, no, and they do not go to the same place all the time. And besides, the seasons also dictate where to go. Yan. But as I said before, on special occasion, like marriage of a member of the kauman, the kampungan, no, they all go back. Oh, it's fun. You know, I have witnessed a wedding. It's so fun. For 2 3 nights you have celebration, singing, dancing, and you have fluvia parade, and you have this bride beautifully clothed with beautiful uh, face, with a fantastic makeup, no? Okay, now we go back to that site. The present day barangay, this present day barangay here in this place I'm talking about, was founded by a clan or a dapuanan. Example, the barangay Baginda Puti, like this barangay Imam Sapi, barangay Pamlima Alari, plus 6 more barangays that is outside of this, if outside of this, no? Yeah. Now, I will tell you, why is Yusuf, my informant, when he was born in Sapie, why is he in Barangay Alari? Yan. Because there is a rule of residence. When a man marries a woman, he lives in the woman's place. Kaya nandito siya. Isn't that similar to us? Most of your relatives, if they are male, they live, your uncle lives with your, closer to your auntie's house. Diba? Unless he inherits his ancestral house, he stays. Or he takes over a family business or land. So this is the ideal in Philippine society. We in anthropology we say a patrilocal resident, a matrilocal, female-centered residence rule. Okay? Now let's see.
Meron po
Yeah?
siya. Do
Uh-huh.
they also have festivals or clan reunions?
I think the clan reunions are in the marriages, in the baptism, yung pagunting, baptism niya. Pagunting, what else? Yung marriage talaga yun ang pinakamalaking ano eh. Or let's say, kasi naging Islamic na sila, di ba? Beginning of Ramadan, the end of Ramadan. No? That's a big festival. Or rituals. Let's say Thanksgiving ritual for, if you are a head of the barangay or the head of that huge clan, parang may obligation ka na every so many years you have to perform this ritual, no? A kind of ritual, and you have to feed a lot of people. Parang ikaw yung big man, di ba? In the Melanesian society, you are the big man, so you have to feed all. Parang ikaw yung patron ng yung fiesta. Ano nga ba yung tawag doon? Pag may
So,
fiesta, oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes, are you saying, para anong tawag dyan? Prestige feasts ba? They have to organize prestige feasts?
Yeah, to maybe anthropologists call it prestige feast, but siguro yung power mo din emanates from it, ano? Even if you're the traditional leader, you're obliged to give back to your people. Yan.
And there's another question here. They have rituals if a family member dies.
Oh yes, yes. But you know, it's very private, the family. No, it's not the whole community. Kasi may dalawang klase ng mga ceremonies eh. Yung pang family lang at yung pang community. No? Pag yung pang community, syempre lahat kasama. No? And you don't do this often. Sa atin ang ating in the Christian village communities, yung fiesta, di ba? Isang beses lang eh, sa isang taon. And usually coincides with the harvest season. It's the redistribution of the harvest, of the wealth of maybe the big man, yung dakong tao, as we say, no? Yun.
Sige, Ma'am Chin, maybe we can go to the next slide.
Okay, now here. This is the informant I was telling you about, no? Si Haji Yusuf. Si Haji Yusuf ay may anak na lalaki, may anak na babae. Ito babae. Tingnan mo siya. Ito si Haji Yusuf. Yung asawa ni Haji Yusuf may kapatid na lalaki. Pero nakatira siya dito sa bahay, dito sa barangay ng kanyang wife eh. Kaya ang kasama niya sa kanyang kauman ay yung anak ng kapatid ng asawa niya at yung pamilya nito. Ito ang kauman ni Yusuf. No? Ito yung kauman ni Yusuf. So Yusuf has several children na meron mo ding mga households. Siyempre meron silang separate houses. Though yung single lives with, or sometimes pag wala pa siyang bahay, lives with Yusuf, no? Can you read this? I think this is yung about identity. Maybe you should read this.
Let's take the case of Haji Yusuf Malabong, a Bajau born and raised in Sitangkay, who passed away in 2005. Yusuf lived in Barangay Panglima Alari, though he was born in Barangay Imam Sapi. He lived in his wife's kauman since in Sama de Laot, president's rule is matrilineal. His kauman comprised his children and grandchildren, except for one daughter who lives in Zamboanga, and his wife's brother's daughter family tree. So that's the illustration. These nuclear families each live in loop houses adjacent to each other and connected by a pantan, not a wooden bridge. Due to economic reasons, two of his married children and their families live with him in his house. They, however, eat separately but share the same hearth. A skillful nakura, Yusuf often skippered trade boats to Sabah. However, due to border control by the Malaysian government, Filipinos without any identification or passports are unable to enter the territory. Thus, it was a given that a Jaw skipper would have two identities. This was the case with Yusuf. According to his oldest identification, he was born in Kampong, this is Bangaw in
Kampong. Yeah.
Kampong, yeah, Kampong, not the barangay, no, but Bangaw in Simporna, Sabah in 1941. His Philippine birth certificate, which was filed in 2000, states, however, he was born in Barangay Imam Sapi. These documents merely demonstrate
One's document, yeah. So there you go, Danny. No? Kasi, ang mahalaga dyan yung trade between, this is a thriving trade between Tawi-Tawi archipelago, Sulu and Tawi-Tawi archipelago. That also includes Palawan. The barter trade between these two places, the Philippine side and North Borneo. Ngayon, the Bajaus are special to North Bornean government because North Borneo is populated by Bajaus since time immemorial. And the indigenous peoples there, maraming indigenous people na hindi maritime people. They are farmers. No? So, yung coast ng North Borneo is controlled by descendants of these families. So, yung mga taga Sitangkay, marami silang relatives na taga Sampurna, taga Kota Kinabalu, yung mga places na yan, no? And it's easy to go there from Sitangkay. It only takes about 4 or 5 hours by a small boat. You can reach, but if you do not have an identity, the Malaysian government gives ID cards, no? That they are Bajaus kasi libre sila mag in and out. That's why Yusuf has that identity, no? Pwede siyang mag in and out doon, no? Hindi nila kailangan ng passport. Kung Bajaw ka, no, you can apply with the Malaysian government. You can even get aid, no? Pag pobre ka, no, less yung income, meron kang ayuda sa gobyerno. Yeah, that's the situation in that area of the Philippines. Okay, can we go?
Yeah, we'll go to the next slide.
Okay, so there goes. You know, William Henry Scott in his book Barangay in the 16th century Philippines, that he said, how was the settlements formed? He said they come in fleets, in boats, and they created hamlets, who was headed by a datu. The barangay was headed by a datu. Until Islam came, the datu became panglima. But still the datu in the IP communities in Mindanao, it's called datu. In my language, datu means rich. Uy, datu ka na karon, no? Yeah, no? It means rich. Then he says like 30 to 100 houses comprising of parents, children, relations, and slaves. Ito yun eh. Ito yung kauman eh. Di ba? Kamag-anakan yan eh. Di ba? At saka yung aliping mamamahay o may sagigilid siguro. For us, you know, my study in the 20th century, we found, I show you in the Kobo from the houseboat creating a hamlet. You have and this nakoda, the skipper. You see, nakoda is a Persian word meaning skipper. So this is used by Islamic peoples because this is a Persian origin. In the Middle East, nakoda, if you're a nakoda, that means you are a famous mariner. There are many heroes, no, who are nakoda. Even the one of the in Brunei, the Sultan of Brunei, one of the grand ancestor of the present Sultan of Brunei, Bolkiah, was a famous nakoda, no. So the nakoda, the skipper of the boat, that tabid, remember that tabid? That skipper of that is the leader. The datu or the nakoda, if it is the south. And they created a barangay, Mandanakan, the Palanakan, no? Yung mga kamag-anak, no? So that is the barangay now. Then this is the origin. We can still see it now. No? This is how, kasi sabi, paano tayo naging ganito? Paano tayo ganyan? Ito yung, now if you keep on asking, bakit yung mga Bajaw andyan na naman gano'n? Naku naman, wala pa naman tayo eh. Narating na nila yung Maynila. Because in pre-Hispanic period, we were trading with the world. and Manila was one of the entry ports. Manila was a port city, a shelter port. If you just imagine Manila Bay is a beautiful bay because it can shelter you from the typhoon. Tingnan mo yung paikot niya, di ba? At pwede kang maglagi dyan. Kasi ang panahon na yon, in pre-Hispanic days, sailboats, no? Wala pang engine. So, you have to wait for the amihan or the habagat. See, when habagat comes, southwest monsoon, the traders will come. Bakit? Tinutulak sila ng hangin, di ba? Southwest. Papunta sa atin, galing sila sa Indian Ocean eh. You see, in the Indian Ocean, you have the Middle Eastern traders, the South Indian traders, even the Europeans na naliligaw doon. And then, sail na sila. Ngayon, hindi sila makakaalis. Antay nila yung amihan. So, we have many shelter ports in the Philippine archipelago. That's why China can easily sail down. No? From the north, they will sail on the West Philippine Sea, passing through us and going all the way to Borneo, Malaysia, Indonesia. And we, the best mariners, no, the best, more than anybody in Southeast Asia, look at the Philippine map. Hindi ba yan puro tubig? Indonesia, marami silang mga land masses, di ba? At saka madali lang. They don't go out. You know, our bajaus were the navies of the pre-colonial period. And these sultanates hired them to keep the straits safe and be sure the traders pay their dues. Yan. So, tapos anong nangyari? Aba, sinabi ng mga colonialist, marami daw pirata because they disturb our system. So, what happens to those people? The bangingi, no? Magnanakaw na daw. Eh, in the first place, sinira nila yung system of trade natin. They controlled it. I think we should have a break or we can open some questions.
Chat box po yung, I think, ang tanong dito ay, gusto niyo pong mag-respond dito, kamag-anak system is visible in a barangay or clan system. It's also a practice in building barangay halls or centers near the houses of the provincial capital in some areas of Mindanao, near their clans now.
Can you explain that, RB?
So, I think merong kamag-anak system daw pag kahit sa barangay level dahil sa ang pag-build ating infrastructure usually malapit din sa saan nandun authority figures at yung kanilang mga relatives din. Yata yung ating comment dito sa chat.
Yeah, what I can say about kamag-anak system, parang it's negative, right? It's negative because the values have changed. The basis of ethical behavior changed. Why? The leader is no longer the traditional leader who is answerable to people. The leader is a politician. If that leader is a panglima, answerable siya, di ba? Sa mga tao. Pero pag politiko, yung nai-elect, democratic election, it does not, I'm sorry to say this, but we have not advanced. Kasi ito yung mga bagong structures of governance, di ba? So, these politicians will come and go. But the traditional leader will always be there. Di ba? Meron siyang responsibility towards his kamag-anak, because if you look at that barangay, everybody is kamag-anakan. Now, why do you say that kamag-anakan system is bad? Because the system, the political system of governance has changed. You can buy, you can buy a vote, but in the traditional panglima, you inherit. And if you are bad leader in the panglima, you can be deposed. The people themselves, the kamag-anak themselves will change you.
I think yung gusto nating i-emphasize dito sa formation ng village community ay yung social relations. Yan yata yung natin nakikita sa version ng kamag-anak system na sinasabi ng ating, sino bang nagtanong? Si Irvin. Nakikita natin sa lecture ni Chim na the emphasis is, meron kang kub, meron kang kauman, at yung mga cluster of houses ay magkakamag-anak, and that's why they build their houses in together, because meron silang interdependence. Kasi meron silang relasyon bloodkin sila. And so, they depend on each other. Needs, and even for social support. Samantalang yung sinasabi ng ating, this is a different anak system of. So wala na yung nakikita nating traditional na value pas paano nabuo sa village community na meron kang cluster of households want to live together because they want to support and cement social relations. I hope we answered the question, Ma'am Chip.
Mm-hmm. They can find out once they do their field work.
Your field work.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the next slide.
Let's
Okay
wait.
pa ba kayo?
Yeah, but maybe they. Oh, Erwin, sige. Yes, Erwin.
Yeah, thanks po. I agree with the answers. Medyo mahina lang po kasi ang aming connection ngayon sa internet. We are having this data connectivity sa area for doing field work po. So napansin ko lang po kasi doon kanina sa clan system may mga nabisita akong area sa Mindanao na ganun pa rin yung formation ng kanilang centers. From the barangay halls to the municipios, then the provincial capitals, na parang ito yung nag-originate yung mga ganitong system na itinatayo nila yung mga yon sa kanilang mga center ng clan. Halimbawa, kung malaki yung clan mo, yun yung higher ang chance na magkaroon ng political power dun sa isang area because mas malalaki yung buboto sa iyo na number. Parang ganun po. Na kung saan ito, pinag-usapan natin kanina yung from both, from village community na dun yung nabuo yung itong from barangay to kamag-anak system down to ngayon, village to the barangay level. So which is may pa rin, historical pa rin dun sa ganung areas from the sultanate to the barangay system ng areas na kung saan itong mga ganitong political system and other system na nabubuo is still from within dun sa barangay or community level pa rin nag-uumpisa. Yung mga ganitong na namana yung system kung baga na yun. Yun lang po.
Pero Erwin, alam mo, ipinatong lang yun yung governance type na yun, yung hierarchy ng administration from local government all the way to the national government. Pero wala na yung ethical behavior na kasama doon. No?
So na-adapt lang nila, ma'am, kung baga yung ganoon, yung kung pinatong nila.
Pinatong lang. Sige, i-recognize kitang town ang Sitangkay is a municipality, and a municipality consists of barangays, di ba? The smallest
Okay,
political
ma'am.
unit. I hope you read my article. No, I explained it there how it evolved. No, from the American colonial period to the present. Para bakit naging barangay na siya o naging town na siya, naging munisipyo siya. You can find it there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you po.
Okay. Meron pang comment sa chat box?
Just to continue yung parang nasagot na rin yata ito, Ma'am Chime, pertaining to the clan. As it gets bigger, then there's the chance of getting more power and controlling the political system.
Hindi siya lumalaki eh. Parang hindi siya